Go ahead.
Yeah, excited and hopeful for an opportunity to play this Saturday. Um, Obviously, I hate the circumstances for South Carolina. I have a lot of respect for Coach Muschamp and his staff, and regrettable that that his tenure and time at South Carolina has come to an end. Wish him all the best. I know yeah, he's a really good football coach and a good husband and a good father. And like I said, I have a lot of respect for him and the way has handled himself. This is a challenging year. This is a no excuse league, as we found out. Doesn't matter if we're in a pandemic, all SEC schedule. It's a bottom line result business. And it is what it is. We've got challenges of our own. We need to practice well. Haven't played a football game in a while. So we need to make sure we're practicing well, practicing ball security, understand the speed, and we need to stay healthy. We are really limited right now by our scholarship numbers and players available. And, we've got to try and stay healthy and get this game Saturday. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
All right, guys, get your hands raised. Looks like the first one's going to come from Gabe D. Armand. Gabe.
Yeah, Eli, you alluded to it a little bit, but if I counted right, I think Saturday is your third game in 42 days. Is there any way to know for sure how your guys are going to respond, or how sharp they'll be and before kickoff?
I'm no Cleo or Miss Cleo, so I got no idea how anybody's going to respond after 42 days, or however long we've had. We've tried to do the best job possible of maintaining focus and interest, and trying to keep some semblance of normalcy. I think I referred to it last week. I mean, I think we're 18 weeks into the season and have only played 5 games. So this is not normal or new, but this is a no excuse league. And we got to figure it out as coaches and players. This week is a trophy week. We got a chance to play for the Mayor's Cup. And so we ought to be real excited and have an opportunity to play. So we're going to do the very best we can, always worry about tackling and turnovers in these kind of situations. So we'll see how it goes.
Next one's going to come from Peter Baugh from The Athletic. Peter.
Yeah, Eli, you mentioned being limited with scholarship numbers. Do you have any updates on guys like Kobe Whiteside or Borum or Delgado?
Yeah, Larry Borum is questionable. Xavier Delgado would be in that same category, questionable to doubtful. Kobe Whiteside is questionable at best. And we'll just see. I think right now, the way I have it, we're at 56 scholarship players, with one of those being suspended in the first half. And, we still have 2 tests to go. So, I don't know what our final roster or number will look like. We are committed to playing this week. We want to play. Our players want to play. And so, we will do whatever we can in order to have that opportunity. But it's, it is what it is.
And have there been any more COVID positives since last Wednesday when there were 2, I guess?
Last Wednesday there were 2. Yeah, we had a couple positives and subsequent contact tracing, which is why we're at the number we're at right now.
Colin O'Brien. Colin, go ahead.
Eli, South Carolina's had a couple of notable opt-outs this weekend. Does that, on the defensive side, does that change at all your game plan, how you're going to prepare for this game at all?
No, I mean, we've got issues of our own. We got issues with contact tracing and COVID positives and injuries. To me, opt-outs I treat like a COVID situation. You got to plan for what you have and always got to adjust and kind of learn that the hard way in the Florida game. And so, we got a game plan. And really for us, it's all about us. It's about us executing offensively. It's about us playing with the tempo that we need to play with. It's about us running the football effectively in key situations. It's about us taking, catching the ball, throwing it to the right open receiver. So, on defense, it's about communication and not having busted coverages. It's about setting edges against a really good offensive scheme. I think Coach Bobo does a tremendous job of softening edges and finding run game, which always leads to his deep down the field play action shots. has done that for a long time, ever since he was at Georgia, went against him when he was at Colorado State, when I was at Boise State. Have a tremendous amount of respect for that scheme. Defensively, Travaris Robinson is an outstanding defensive coordinator. I've gone against him several times. He's got the better of me. I've got the better of him. But each game, it's going to be a battle. They got a tremendous defensive staff. I mean, Coach Rocker was at Auburn when I was there in 2010. He always does a tremendous job with the defensive line. You can see the growth and development that those guys have. They've got two very talented younger players that you can see coming on each and every week, and know that he's going to have those guys motivated and ready to play. And so, we got a really tremendous challenge ahead of us because of, they're going to have great energy and rallying effort for this staff and for Coach Muschamp and circle the wagons type game for them. So really it's about us and making sure we execute our job more than trying to figure out who's going to be playing for them. I know that whoever plays is going to be coached up really well, and they're going to have great schemes, and they're going to put them in a position to be successful.
Mitchell 40 from Power Mizzou. Mitchell.
Eli, we found out after we talked to you last week that the defensive line was the group kind of impacted by contact tracing last week. I don't know if you're able to say how many guys are available in that group this week, but regardless, my question is more so, how do you feel like that group has dealt with the challenge of having to mix and match and move guys around? And because I know that's something that they were able to do relatively successfully earlier this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think that group's just really resilient. Extremely proud of the fight that this team continually demonstrates. No matter what's thrown out at them, they continue to respond and toe the line and keep getting back up. And, the defensive line's no different. Jatorian Hansford was told this summer he was going to have season-ending surgery. And as of right now, I would anticipate that he's going to start against South Carolina. So, I mean, it's just one of those deals where every day there's a new challenge, and it's a new opportunity for us to, practice our faith and mental toughness. And it's not about the outcome, but it's about the person that we're becoming as we face these challenges. And our defensive line's done that. There's going to be opportunities for walk-ons to play. There's going to be opportunities for everybody to contribute to our team's success. And that's what a team is. That's why football is the greatest sport there is, because it's truly about everybody's individual commitment to a team effort. And we're going to continue to have those individuals committed to our teams.
Ben Arnett from KOMU. Ben.
Hey, Eli, how do you kind of walk the fine line in practice this week, knowing that you don't want rust to build up, and that's obviously a challenge from the schedule lately, but also knowing you're right up against that player limit? Is there any strategies you employ there?
I mean, it takes what it takes. It's a physical game. It requires physical, ways to practice physical so that you don't get, shocked when you show up to Saturday. So, I mean, each individual coach is going to be responsible for getting their guys ready in their individual performances. And then, you have to practice with speed, but you got to practice against each other in a smart, safe way. And we'll do the very best we can, but there's always a risk in how you practice, and we'll do the very best we can.
Kyle Pinnell from the Maneater. Kyle.
Coach, obviously this is a very unique season, and with you guys coming off a second unplanned open week, was there anything you took from that first open week that you used for this last week to utilize your time better, or what did you kind of take away from those 2 open weeks you've had?
Yeah, we actually approached it a little bit differently, just because we'd already come off the bye week, and it was really Tuesday or Wednesday morning before we had come to the conclusion that we weren't going to be able to play the Georgia game. So we still kept with our Wednesday normal third down red zone practice plan. Thursday was our normal walkthrough. We did a fast Friday, and then Saturday we had a scrimmage out here, a mock. I wouldn't say a mock scrimmage, but a scrimmage. 4-quarter scrimmage versus each other on Saturday, where we put ourselves in some situations and just tried to play and played at 11 like we were going to play Georgia, but just weren't able to do that. And so did the very best we could, got a lot of people reps, got a lot of different people opportunities to play. And again, for us, we're just trying to cherish the opportunity. The seniors, have worked so hard and been so resilient. We're looking forward to giving them an opportunity to continue to play.
Bill Pollock from Missouri Net. Bill.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Good afternoon, Eli. I wanted to go back to talking about the respect you have for Coach Muschamp. Saturday, he's going up against a coach that's running down the sideline, flings his clipboard 20 feet in the air, and it's kind of been his thing. And do you take into consideration how you handle your on-field reactions, just thinking about how they'll be viewed by your peers and the guy that you're coaching across the field from?
I mean, I think I always consider how I carry myself. I think you have to be who you are, but you have to carry yourself how you believe is in the best interest of your personal brand, but also the brand of the university and the state that you represent. So, yeah, I mean, I keep that in mind, in everything I do, honestly, whether I'm in the grocery store or pumping gas or, out for a walk. How I carry myself matters. Yeah.
You had mentioned, I just want to make sure I clarify, you had mentioned that since Wednesday, you said there were a couple different cases. Was it just quarantining, or was it a couple positives, or a mixture of both? I just want to make sure I report that correctly.
Yeah, I mean, we've had 2 subsequent tests. We've had positives, and then we've had subsequent contact tracing from those.
Okay. So both. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Dave Matter, go ahead.
Eli, specifically with your offense, when you have a layoff, what would be kind of the concern, just kind of recapturing that rhythm that you can't have at game speed, and how can you simulate that?
I got all kinds of concerns. Rust. I mean, we had problems dropping the ball, throwing it to the right people, getting through our reads quick, giving up sacks. Spikes on the D-line caused negative yardage plays, which resulted in a fumble. I mean, so we got all kinds of concerns. Instead of worrying about those concerns, we focused on our fundamentals. We need to improve. We need to work on throwing and catching the football. We got to work on getting the ball out on time. We got to work on, our footwork in the run game, making sure our hands are inside, hat placements where it needs to be. Leverage is great. Our tracks in the tailback position. So, for us, it's an opportunity. Like I told the team, it's an opportunity to gain valuable practice times, and you get that. You get to choose what your attitude is towards any type of practice, and you get to choose, how hard you want to go and how good you want to be and what kind of advantage you take of it. And, I've heard this a lot. It takes what it takes. It costs what it costs to be a great football player and to be an elite player. And you really can't afford to waste any opportunity or waste any practice reps. And so that was our challenge to our team. And I think they've responded well. But obviously Saturday is the test.
Jack Sobel from the Maneater. Jack.
Coach, it feels like we say this every week, but you're facing another great slot receiver in Shi Smith against South Carolina. You've used Joshua Bledsoe one-on-one against those slot guys in the past. What does he do that gives you confidence that he can handle them?
Yeah, I mean, I think in this league, I've come to the point where every week you're facing great players. You're going to be playing on Sundays, and you got to have great players yourself that can match those guys, or you have to have a scheme that gives you an advantage, whether it's a double team or whatever you got to do. Shi is an electric player, obviously a future NFL player with a lot. Reminds me of the Deebo Samuels that they had a couple of years ago, who could do a lot of different things. They do a tremendous job moving him around and giving him opportunities to make plays. We have a lot of confidence in Josh and Tyree, obviously, and Larry. Congratulations to those guys on being named to the Reese's Senior Bowl. But obviously, Josh has played a lot of football, demonstrated an ability to play man-to-man, and he's got an understanding of defenses, and he's got a free safety behind him who can help erase mistakes. For us, we're going to have to – they put you in a real bind because I think Kevin Harris is a tremendous running back. Really stepped up for them, especially with they running the football and controlling the clock, and then creates one-on-one matchups for Shi. And so, for us, our job is going to be, do we commit more guys to the box, which then leaves one-on-ones, or do we commit more guys to covering Shi, which then leaves us light in the box? That's the chess match, and that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to figure that one out. I'm not going to tell you which one that plan is going to be, but that'll be the battle.
Eric Blum from the Tribune. Eric.
Eli, I know you mentioned earlier in this press conference that you're not Miss Cleo, but you are still very committed to playing on Saturday. Are there scenarios where you fall under the 53-man overall SEC threshold where you want to play the game? And if so, what scenarios and specificity can you give to that part of it?
We still have 2 more. I mean, we took a test this morning. We took a test on Thursday. So I can only deal with the information that I have in front of me right now, which right now we have 56 players. One of them still suspended for the first half. And then I got 4 on here that are in yellow, which makes them questionable. So, I mean, I have no idea. I mean, we're committed to playing, but I can't predict the future or forecast what the future is going to be. I learned my lesson the hard way last week. So, I'm trying to be, I'm as open and honest with information as I can and always will be about COVID and COVID related issues. But this is a year unlike any other, and we will do everything in our power to play football Saturday because our team and our seniors deserve that opportunity. But obviously I can't predict the future. I can't control the virus. I can't tell the virus what to do. Wish it could. I think everybody in the country wishes they could, but can't. So we'll see.
Andrew Kaufman from KMIZ. Andrew.
Coach, I'm not sure if this is a silly question or not, but can you
I'll
guys
tell you if it is.
can you guys hold like a walk-on tryout to get potentially some people that go to Mizzou that might have played high school football? I don't know if COVID doesn't allow that, but is that something you guys have looked into to get more guys?
That is not a silly question because that is a solution, solution oriented. You're trying to help us find a solution. We did try we did have a tryout in January, which is where we got Boo Williams. Maybe. But because of COVID and the COVID policies, that would, we wouldn't be able to do that. It would take a minimum of 14 days and a physical and to go through some of those things. And yeah. I mean, this is SEC football. I don't know if you're going to be able to find a high school walk-on who hasn't played football and in the middle of November put them against some first-round draft picks, but we could sure try. I mean, that's the reality of this situation is there's a level that's being played and it's a really high level and you just can't sub people in because 11 people have to do their job on every play for a play to be effective. And if one person doesn't, then it can dramatically or drastically affect the outcome or somebody's health. And so it's a fine line.
Peter from The Athletic. Peter.
Yeah, Eli, obviously like the seniors everyone this year not counting towards eligibility poses kind of like weird circumstances. And I was wondering with the 3 players going to the Seniors Bowl, essentially declaring for the draft, like when do you start having those conversations with draft eligible players about their decision and what goes into it?
There's been some preliminary conversations with people about what their plans are in the future and where they see themselves and whether or not they would, use this year to come back or not come back. But at the end of the day, we still have 5 games left and there's a lot of tape still to put out there that can dramatically affect your stock one way or the other. So those decisions will probably come at the end of our last game and those conversations between that game and the bowl game.
Suichi from the KC Star. Go ahead.
Hey, Eli, when you look at that schedule and you see 5 straight games, I guess, is there kind of a concern about you just going forward with the numbers, or is it just kind of you deal with what's in front of you?
I just deal with what's in front of me. I can't predict, I can't predict what the future is. I couldn't predict how these previous 5 games have already gone. So, I really don't know. I'm worried about this Saturday and this opportunity. And when we, get done with that, then we'll tackle the next challenge. I think if you look too far ahead, you waste a lot of energy on things that you can't control. And I can promise you this, one thing I do know is that there will be a new challenge next week, and it'll be something that nobody expects. So I'm not going to try to forecast it. I got challenges of my own this week, and it's a tremendous challenge with our team, getting them ready, and then traveling to an unknown team with a lot of different things in a rallying cry. So it's going to be a tough one.
Mitchell 40 from Power Mizzou.
Eli, I know you mentioned in the past that left guard spot could be a kind of an open competition with Dylan Spencer suspended. If Xavier Delgado is unable to go, does an extra week of practice make you feel better, I guess, about filling that spot for a half if need be?
Yeah. We're gave us some good reps, and hopefully as an offensive line, we were able to find some cohesion there. Luke Griffin anticipates to be the starter right there at left guard. I think he'll be his first collegiate start, if my understanding is right. And so, we are excited about Luke doing that, and we'll go from there.
Gabe from Power Mizzou. Gabe.
Yeah, I believe in the Florida game, Daniel Parker was out for that game, and I thought I had seen that Mike Ruth was actually kind of listed as a possibility to help out at tight end. So first off, do you expect Parker back? And second, tight ends and offensive line, do you have the ability? Do you have guys that maybe can do both of those things in any given game if you got into that situation?
Yeah, as of right now, Daniel Parker would be doubtful for the South Carolina game. Mike Ruth, if we got into a 4 tight end set or something like that, might have to slide there. But as of right now, with our offensive line numbers as they are, he's going to need to play there. We have moved Drake Heismeyer over to the D-line to give us some added depth over at that position. He played D-line in high school. And we are cross-training some of our wide receivers at the DB position, just to try to make sure that we have enough depth. Again, like I said, we're trying to do everything possible for us to have the ability to play.
Dave Matter from the Post. Go ahead.
Eli, this is going to be way off your radar, but last year, when App State, when you won at South Carolina, what did that win, that game mean for you? I think it was the second Power 5 team you beat last year, but what did it mean for you personally and for your program that time of your career?
Obviously, I think for me it was more about our team, and I haven't really thought about it for me personally. But for our team, we had a lot of guys on our team from South Carolina who were under recruited, and we just tried to demonstrate that team football can win, and our commitment to each other and our commitment to playing hard every single play, was good enough to win football. And I actually sent a picture to one of my offensive linemen from last year of him getting after one of their defensive linemen, and just brought a bunch of good memories back. It was a tremendous job by our defensive players. We had to hold on at the end, and it was fun. It was fun to go into an away game, App State underdog, to an SEC school and get a win. It's everybody loves an underdog story. That was one of those, where it was you against everybody, and you found a way to get it done. So it was a lot of fun, and something I'll always remember. Those bus rides back at App from UNC and from South Carolina were the shortest 4.5, 5 hour bus rides in my life, and they were a lot of fun.
Max Baker from the Missourian. Go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I was just wondering, you mentioned that one of your 56 players is going to be suspended for the first half, and I didn't know if the other 2, if it carries over to the next time they'll be available to play, or does that count for their suspension? Do you know how that works?
That's investigative reporting right there. I guess the cat's out of the bag that those 2 of them won't be available this week. So
Andrew
I don't know, and I actually need to ask and get clarification on that. I don't know if that counts. I would sure hope it does. Because these guys are not choosing not to play, but they're being anyway.
Andrew Kaufman from KMIZ. Last one goes to you.
Coach, just with all the uncertainty surrounding this whole season, how tough has it been for you to motivate your players each and every week?
Motivation is true competitors are always motivated to compete. If something's on the line and you're a competitor, then you got to compete. Your first competition is always with yourself. Always compete to be better today than you were yesterday, better tomorrow than you are today. It's That's why it's core value number one. What you can't let the grind get to your mind. It hasn't been difficult to motivate. People that aren't motivated find a way out. People that are motivated find a way in. And right now, the guys that we're going with have found a way in every single time. And I think it's more of a tribute, not to me at all, but really to the captains, Case Cooks, the Larry Roundtrees, the Nick Boltons, the Joshua Bledsoes. Those guys show up, the Micah Wilsons, Dawson Downing. They show up every day ready to go, ready to play. Akil Byers with the right mindset, with great effort. Chris Turner's. And that's really, for us, that's what's carried it, because their attitude and their effort rubs off on everybody else. And that's what you have to have in order to be successful. And that's what we got to have this week. Like I said, it's a trophy game. You can't get fired up to play for a trophy, then you're probably in the wrong sport. You're probably in the wrong line of work. It's probably not competitive enough for you. But if we're giving out a trophy at the end of this game, we sure want it.
All right, we'll let Coach go with that one. Thanks, guys.